Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is David Schlace, and I am a six-figure social media marketing agency owner. Together with my business partner, I've built a social media marketing agency over the last 3 years to invoicing between $40,000, $50,000, and $60,000 in monthly recurring revenue from our clients. In this channel, I'm going to teach you all kinds of different tips, tricks, and ways that you can run a better agency, start a social media marketing agency, or just be a better business owner or digital marketer in general. So if you're interested in these topics, I'd encourage you to subscribe to the channel, like this video if you find it valuable, as it takes time to create these, and let's jump into the content. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about a number of different ways to bring local, or different clients to your social media marketing agency. Okay, so we work with clients all over the world of all different sizes and have for the last 3 years. And there's a number of different ways that we've been able to bring those clients to our agency. The first of which is cold calling. So my background is in enterprise sales, building out business development teams, teaching them things like cold calling, cold emailing, and all these, kind of classic sales practices. And no matter what anybody says, these methodologies still work. There's no better way to cut above the noise than to pick up the phone, make some cold calls, pull down a list, and just dial for dollars all day, every day. Other agency owners are not doing that. They won't spend the time doing it, and it's a great way to differentiate yourself. Not only that, there's a lot of business owners who don't check their email or don't check their Facebook for direct messages and stuff like that, and the best way to reach them is actually through the phone. Additionally, compared to cold emailing and other methodologies, cold calling is a great way to actually see those calls convert. Once you get somebody live on the phone, you have a much better chance to actually find out more about their needs of their business, what they've been doing for marketing, handle a lot of those objections that they might be saying in their head when you reach out to them through email that you have no chance to do otherwise without a live conversation. So I'm a huge fan of cold calling. It is time intensive. It can be challenging for those of you guys who have never done it before, which is why we talk about other ways of prospecting in this video. But the best way to do cold calling, in my opinion, and when we first started our agency, basically, I was working a job that required me to travel for 3 to 4 weeks a month. The only time that we really had to do biz dev and sales for our agency was either over lunch break, where I'd basically pull a list of potential prospects to call the night before. I'd walk out to my car, I'd call as many of them as I could before going back into the office to finish my day. Or if I was traveling for work, if I had a gap between meetings, I would make as many calls off the list that I prepared in advance and try and get meetings. We closed a ton of business that way. It was a great way of doing things. But I would encourage you guys to create a list of businesses. There's a number of great ways that you can find those. Yellow Pages, Reference USA is usually free with your library card. There's tons and tons and tons of places that you can find. Even Google Local Search is an example that you can find lists of businesses very simply just by putting whatever the niche you're looking for into a search box. Pull them down, create a list, don't even think about it, just keep dialing. The second is cold emailing. Now, cold emailing doesn't convert as well as cold calling, but it does enable you to have a much higher volume of emails and touch points on prospects than you would otherwise. So we use a solution, it's called Gmass. It's very cheap. It's just a plugin for Gmail that allows you to automate a lot of outreach, where if you pull a list, you can basically put them into what's called a touch point sequence, where the first email goes out. Based on their behavior, whether they open, click, or don't open, you can send out follow-up emails on an automated basis, and it makes it very, very easy to do that. But I would encourage you to be sending hundreds and hundreds of cold emails per day, not 10, 20, right? It's a numbers game. As with cold calling, it's always a numbers game. The more cold calls you make, the more emails go out, the more conversions you're gonna have, the more meetings. So as an example for cold calling, every 100 calls that you make, you should probably be getting between 5 and 10 connections. From those 5 and 10 connections, you should have 2 to 3 meetings. From those 2 to 3 meetings, you should have a client or two closed, right? So for cold emailing, you need to have those numbers skew far higher. For every 100, 200, 300, 400, you're not going to get those same conversions that you would cold calling, but you're able to hit a higher number because you don't have to make every single email, right? You can automate it. So cold emailing is a great way to really automate and save a lot of time. Additionally, all those individuals that haven't answered the phone for you, that you haven't been able to connect with, always send follow-up emails with them. If maybe they just don't answer the phone. For everybody that'll answer the phone, there's somebody who won't. So sending those cold emails is a great way and an extremely effective way that we've scaled our agency, through cold email. So highly encourage that as well. We teach a lot of in-depth automation in our course, the SMMAblueprint.com. The link's in the description here. Definitely not necessary on the front end as you're just getting started, but if you guys are looking for ways to automate and really take things to the next level, would definitely encourage you to grab that. The next is door-to-door, okay? So there's no better way to get in front of a business owner or decision makers than actually go into a physical location. The issue though is that it's not scalable. So I would encourage you to do this only for businesses that you happen to be driving past or that are, particularly attractive clients for your business. For whatever reason, they're a direct hit, they're super desirable, they're a great fit for you or, your offer and what you have. So going door to door and actually meeting them at, where they work is a great way to, really cut above the noise and show a presence. Another great way of, it's kind of similar to door and cold emailing is actually DMing on Instagram or Facebook. Now, this can be challenging because it's actually put into kind of a separate inbox that, a lot of business owners, unless they're really active on Instagram and Facebook, aren't always checking, but it can be a great way to, basically have a different inbox, right? If they're getting a ton of emails, you have no idea, how many emails they're getting, every day, whereas they might not be getting a high volume of DMs on Instagram or Facebook. And it can be a great way to basically get in front of them. A lot of the time it is the business owner or, sometimes it's another agency or marketing person who's actually managing those pages for them. So it's a great way to potentially get the right point of contact right away as they're, all kind of connected to those pages. And the last way that I'm going to talk about in this video is actually LinkedIn. So we teach a course. It's called the SMMAblueprint.com/LinkedIn. We call it High Ticket LinkedIn, but it's basically the processes that we've used to scale our agency and 5x our average client size through using LinkedIn, just because with the processes that we teach, it's been a extremely effective way of getting in front of the types of business owners that we want to work with. Typically, they're larger accounts. Your typical local business person isn't necessarily super active on LinkedIn, but some of the larger, more qualified accounts that can pay more and have more budgets are active on those platforms. So it's a great way to actually target them. Additionally, open rates on emails are 5 to 10 times what they are for email. And not a lot of people are using LinkedIn in this way. So it's a great way to really differentiate and, cut through the noise. Our course is great. There's a lot of other ways that you can learn LinkedIn and just the basics at least to kind of get the things in motion. But if you are so inclined to check out our LinkedIn course, check it out at the SMMAblueprint.com/LinkedIn. There's all kinds of different audiences that you can target on that platform. No matter what your niche is, there's ways to reach your audience through it. And you don't even necessarily need the Premium Sales Navigator or business licenses to get started. So it's a great way to get started. Like I said, my background is in B2B sales. I used LinkedIn to get into all kinds of major accounts like Wells Fargo, Nike, JP Morgan, TD Bank, major companies. I used LinkedIn to penetrate them, and we've been using the same processes for our agency to 5x the size of our clients through the LinkedIn platform. All of these are valuable. Each of them have their pros, their cons. I'd highly encourage you to make it a numbers game and to take a tiered approach. You don't want to be one channel. For every minute you're spending on LinkedIn, you're losing out on opportunities through cold calling, and the same is true. So you want to have a balanced approach, right? All sales is about balance. The secret sauce is in the follow-up. It's not just that first DM through LinkedIn. It's not that first DM through Facebook or that first cold call. It's the follow-up. It's putting them on your touch point sequence for emails. It's making sure that you have an insane amount of activity every single day. And that is what's going to lead to great meetings. That great follow-up is going to take those meetings forward in your sales cycle. And that's what's going to get you more clients for your agency. So once again, if you found this video valuable, please subscribe, like it. That helps other agency owners like you, see this content on YouTube and on the platform. It means a lot to me. Appreciate you watching it. And if you haven't already, feel free to give me a follow on Instagram. The link is in the description as well. See you soon.